Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you all?
We're gonna wait for a little bit for more people to hop on here.
It doesn't look like anybody's on.
So this is really awkward on our part.
We don't, somehow Jesse doesn't have the stream up on here, so.
I have no idea how to do it. You said it would come on automatically.
Did I really?
Yep. There you go.
There we go. There's one thumbs up, one watching. Woohoo! Thank you. So we just thought we would sit down and do a quick chat
With Georgie.
with everybody, or with whoever could get on tonight. We haven't put out a video in a couple weeks, so
No, just a week.
yeah, I guess it is. That's just been a week. It's been a busy week for me. I think I've worked about 60 hours at work this week. It's been a long week, so it feels like 2 weeks put together. Oh, Georgie's talking. Hi, Georgie. Hi, baby.
There's a couple more people in here.
Yeah. Got a couple people hop on.
Hey guys.
Nobody's chatting yet.
That's alright. We just got done with dinner. Ate our own chicken and our own green beans. Made our own homemade bread. It was amazing.
It was really good. It was a really good dinner.
There's something about eating the food that you grow. It's just different. It's just better. Even if it's nothing really that special or that anyone else would think is really that special.
Yeah.
There's just a quality or a taste or something that's better.
Well, that was one of the things I even said when I was eating the chicken. I'm like, man, it just tastes different. You know, like, I mean, we have a lot of, she's jumping up and down. We have a lot of chicken. I mean, we have a lot of chicken in our freezer from this summer, and
turkeys.
And turkeys, right? That we haven't eaten. So there's just something different about it. It tastes good.
You definitely can't get that same quality from the store. No matter really what store you go to, even if you buy.
Hey, Shane, how are you?
Even if you buy the organic, whatever stuff. It's just knowing that you grew it is something different.
Yeah, it is.
Hey guys.
It's funny, every time we do one of these like impromptu lives, it's hey, Miss Farm Alarm. Every time we do one of these like impromptu lives, we like always notice like either immediately following or while we're going on, there's like Doug and Stacy are going live at 8 o'clock tonight. So it's kind of perfect that we did this at 7 because
I think they're going at 8.
Yeah, they're going at 8, so it's kind of
even though we probably thought of it first.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. So we just saw Stacy on Instagram saying, "Hey, we're gonna go live at 8 o'clock tonight." So we're shooting videos right now, but it's just we don't have anything right now ready to go. So we're like, hey, let's just do a live this week, you know, and kind of touch base with everybody and say hi.
Kind of a quicker way to get in there and say hi to everybody.
You're switching. So that was Tracy, not Miss Farm Alarm.
So you guys had quail. How do you cook your quail? Do you guys fry them? Or do you bake them? What do you like with them?
I like quail fried, personally.
Can you bake them? I mean, like
I'm sure you probably could. Wrong, it's Ashley. Oh, hi, Ashley.
You never know.
Went to the official account, huh? Is that what it is?
Still a mod.
Smoked on the barbecue.
Oh,
that's
with
good.
Barbecue. That sounds
with barbecue.
good.
Yeah.
We're doing for my mom's Christmas. We always do with my mom and my siblings, and this year we're doing barbecue instead of a traditional Christmas dinner, and I'm so excited because I love barbecue. So
yeah, I had barbecue.
And Kansas City barbecue is really, really good.
Yeah, I had some Kansas City barbecue today, so it was pretty good.
Smoked 2 hours. It is Ashley.
You blame Tracy. That's all right.
Do you guys have your Christmas decorations up? Your Christmas trees? We went and got one today. Our first real tree.
Yeah.
Homegrown. Not by us, but it was here when we moved here.
Yeah, it was.
But it was special, and it smells really good. It's very pokey.
It's very,
we got a lot of
pokey.
Splinters.
Yeah,
But it's fun.
It's real. Yeah.
It looks real, and it looks like a real tree from the woods would look in our house.
A little bit like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree.
But
somewhat.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's special.
Oh man. Yeah, the weather here in Missouri has been really weird because it was like October and November were really cold. And it's
kind of settled down.
It's kind of like been more fall-like here since December and the end of
last year. It had snowed more by this point than it has this year.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of hanging around fall.
And we haven't had any major. I mean, we've had a couple small snows, but nothing major yet this year.
We were cutting wood today. Well, Jeremiah was cutting wood. I wasn't. I was watching.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot cut today. Less than I wanted to get cut because we were doing some other things as well. But that's just a constant struggle and not a struggle. I kind of like cutting wood because that keeps me active this time of year, more active than I would be if I was just sitting at home. So
it's awful nice having a wood stove, though.
Yes,
don't you think?
It is. I think just like we've been, since it's not been as cold here in Missouri, it has been very, very, it's been nice to not have to worry about running our propane.
Yeah.
It's been nice not having to worry about if the power goes out, we have a heat source, you know. I mean, because kind of where we're at right now, you know, if we got snowed in, if we got a major snow event, you know, let's say we got somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 inches.
Which has happened.
We'd be pretty close to being stuck here for at least a couple days until they could get the roads cleared out, and depending on what kind of snow it was. And the last time we had that kind of a snow event, we did lose power for pretty close to 4 hours. So you know, if something like that ever happens again and you lose power for 9 hours and it's overnight, you know, and it's 22 degrees, that can get pretty cold pretty quick. So it's really nice to have that, I guess.
That assurance of at least you'll be able to keep everybody warm.
Right. Yeah.
That was something that we had wanted way back in our old house, and it was something that I had really kind of put on our list of what to look for when we moved. And I mean, it took 2 years, but we finally had one.
What's funny was when we moved in here,
there was a spot for it.
Hi, Rebecca. When we finally moved in here, and we didn't even notice this when we first moved in, but there was already a flue installed, and it's in the basement, and it's actually very efficient. We found out that it works really well. I kind of smoked us out last night.
Yeah.
I didn't have a fire going because it had been warm the previous day, and then I had a fire overnight. Well, then nobody tended the stove. I was gone all day at work, and nobody tended the stove for the day. So I went to fire up the stove last night. Well, the temperature the bottom had dropped out of it, so it just took me a really long time to get that stove to heat up.
And pretty soon, we all noticed our eyes were getting pretty itchy.
There was a lot of smoke in the house, so we had to open all the windows and turn on the exhaust fan and kind of exhaust that.
But we got it out, and it was fine.
It was.
Just in time for bed.
Kim Folk, if you're still on, what are you guys' winters like down there in Georgia?
But they're pretty nice. Probably don't get much snow.
I don't think they get snow. I just kind of want to know, like, temperature wise, like, are you in the 50s or?
Rebecca, where are you at? What state are you from? I know there's a lot of people that watch our channel from Missouri, but we have a lot just around. I mean, a lot from around the states. Thank you. Evansville, Indiana. So you probably get colder winters than we do, right, in Indiana?
Yeah, it could.
I mean, they're a little
pretty,
bit north.
Pretty close. A little further north, but not much. But I don't know. Well, I don't know where Evansville is in Indiana. That could be closer to Michigan and Ohio. So I don't know. But Georgia's talking now. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we've really kind of slowed down on the farm. Like as far as like the daily chores and daily things to do, it's very.
Well, we don't have a garden. We don't have turkeys to tend to.
Yeah.
Getting close on the pigs.
Yeah, the pigs are the pigs probably have another have another month. I'm trying to get them scheduled right now. I have a couple calls in to the place where I would like them to go and be processed. So I don't have an answer on when that date will be, and
but yes, the things around the farm are slowing down. Just it's funny how much of a cycle there is in farming and the seasons, and when you don't do that sort of thing, and like before we moved here, we didn't realize really how much of a cycle there is.
Yeah, because it's really
you do the same things every year at the same time, but then there's a fast season or a hard work season and a slow down kind of season.
So yeah, Ashley, that you say we have unfinished projects. So
yeah, we don't know anything about that.
Jesse sent me this text message the other day while I was at work, and it was something about refacing the cabinet doors. And I don't think she was saying, "Hey, I want to do this like next week" or anything.
I don't know.
But it was one of those things where I saw it and I instantly went, I don't have time to do that. I have so many unfinished projects right now. It's not even funny. I mean, like.
Well, I thought you didn't text me back, so I thought you were just ignoring me, hoping it would go away.
I was. I'll just level with you. I was kind of going, oh, we could do that, but that's a lot of hours. Yeah. And it's always interesting how many hours you need to give up or you need to work to get something done on your place, and how willing normally I'm very willing to give up time to go do work on the farm, but this time of the year when the days are really getting close to they're less than 12 hours of daylight, it's really hard for me to give up any kind of time to go do anything anything outside the norm. Like right now, cutting wood is my top priority. Like I might get up tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning and go cut wood before church. Like I need to get that done. Just because I know it's going to turn off cold, and we really have enjoyed the wood stove, and it's a need, and I like getting out there and getting my blood pumping, and that exercise that provides. So yeah, unfinished projects are definitely something that I think with homesteading just happens, or any kind, even if you're not homesteading.
And that's me. Like during the winter is my time to kind of think and plan about next year, and so I'm of course looking at Pinterest and thinking about all these things that I want to do, and
and
I kind of want to get them done right now. But there's all this other stuff. It's like a never-ending list.
Right, and then our Baker Creek our Baker Creek
Baker
catalog
Creek.
showed up like
Had to
in
put
the
out
last couple
which
days.
is
So.
a lot earlier than I remember. I don't remember them putting it out before Christmas.
Oh yeah, well that's a smart move, putting it out
Yeah, I
before
know.
Christmas. I guess I could buy you
Christmas
seeds for
presents.
Christmas. Yeah.
Well,
So.
then I guess at least I get something.
Yeah, that's true.
They have a lot. I don't know if you guys got it already, but they have a lot of new seats this year.
Yeah.
Some really, really beautiful things. I'm excited. I already have 2 columns of a page listed of everything that I want.
I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to go back down to Baker Creek
Yeah.
for their planning festival. Like I last year we did the first year we ever kind of went. We did both days and we had a blast. And then last year we did one day and we were like so bummed that we only did one day. I think next year we'll do just not because I mean you can see everything in one day. If you have one day and that's all you've got, go for sure.
But really, you get to see more speakers and more exhibits or like the people that.
Yeah, you kind of can dive a little deeper. So.
And you get to just hang out with great people more.
No schooling, huh? But the baby, that'll be interesting. I'm excited to meet your new little baby.
And you guys don't know what you guys aren't gonna find out, right? I think you said you don't find out, which is exciting.
That is exciting. We're chickens when it comes to that. We always find out.
I don't think it's chickens. I think it's just being excited about it and being able to call the baby by their name and talking about it. I'm talking about him or her. I always like that.
Yeah, that is fun. Hey. Thank you, Rebecca.
Let's go in here. I'll be right back.
I think we have a wonderful family as well. It's definitely never a dull moment over here. That I will tell you that for sure.
Do you want me to?
You can. We have a new addition actually.
Speaking of babies.
We have a.
Look, what our newest member of the family.
This is a impulse Walmart.
Impulse freebie, which is even worse than an impulse buy.
Yeah.
Because you almost kind of can't say no.
Yeah.
With a freebie.
Yeah, you can't.
This is Libby. She's 8
Libby.
weeks old, and she's what is she, mountain cur?
A mountain cur dog.
She's so sweet.
So we saw her and I instantly fell in love, and Jesse even said, "Oh my goodness," she saw him too.
Yeah,
at the
as we
same
were
time I
driving
did. And so it was like I called her and said, "There's the Brindle one and I want it." And she said, and I said, "I'm not going to get in trouble for this." And
I said,
she goes,
"Fine."
Fine.
Which is how I always.
And that's how she always says it. So it worked out really good.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
She's got little socks or little toenails painted right there.
Yep. So she is a pretty girl. So, and now Jeff has joined us as well.
And Bo. You guys say hi?
You can see the top of Bo's head right here
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
somewhere.
I hear you.
Oh, there he is. Hey, keep your shirt on there, biggin.
That's a Chip Games thing to do. What, call the wife and ask her if it's okay?
Of course.
It's just the right thing to do.
All
In
I know,
this instance.
I know there was a point where there's been probably a couple times in our 15 years of marriage where I've come home with a puppy. And I'm not saying I paid for that, but I've definitely heard about it after the fact.
So when we first got Lady is what is she? A Pyrenees. And
thanks, Simeon.
so Lady is a Pyrenees, and we had a 900 square foot home with, at the time, 6 kids.
Yes.
And
Well, we brought her
That
home.
dog-
She was a puppy.
Yeah.
I mean, a baby. Like she was 8 months, 9
and
months,
that dog lived in that house
or 9 weeks.
until she was full grown. And we just didn't have a place for her outside. It was an impulse, definitely an impulse buy.
It was one of those things where we're like, oh, there's 5 of them. Oh, there's 3 of them. We got to go now, you know. And we adopted her, and she's
wonderful.
a great
But
dog.
She was very hard to live with inside as an inside dog.
And she's
So
very.
that's why this one will not be an inside dog.
She's very protective. Why? She's very protective. She's a great dog. She's good with kids.
She and Judah were babies at the same time. And so that was really fun to see them kind of bond together.
Yeah, she and Judah were it's same as with Libby and Bo.
Georgia.
Bo. Because Bo's about the same age, so about 2. And they would curl up with one another and sleep with one another. And,
It was fun.
but she shed.
She shed. Oh my goodness.
She
It was
shed.
like snow
Not a she shed. She would shed her hair everywhere.
We had wood floors,
White.
but oh my goodness. I was madder for about a year than I've ever been in my entire life.
Whoops, my bad.
But now it's fine. And she's outside.
She does well. So.
Yep. But I think this is going to be a good little addition.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she hasn't made a peep since we brought her home. She's barked maybe two or 3 times. So hopefully that continues. So Lady's a little bit of a barker. You guys might notice every once in a while in the video. What you don't see in the videos is me going, Lady, be quiet.
I have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Lady, be quiet outside.
Yeah, because she is definitely a vocal dog.
Aw, thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca said, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers.
We're working on that.
I
Yeah,
know.
go
Tell all your friends.
Go tell everybody, hey, you gotta go check this channel out.
We got a new puppy. Yep.
New puppy.
We're working on that this year. I think that's going to be one of our goals is to try to up our...
So this is our new Christmas
Oh,
present.
do you want to tell?
He would love to.
So
Hey, Richard.
We're gonna work on putting out more videos this year and doing some different things. I think we're gonna
Hey, Bo, don't play with the tree.
get some new and different types of animals, maybe.
We are? Wow, that's news to me.
Maybe I shouldn't say anything.
No, I'm just kidding.
We have big plans, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Well, we have plans.
Thanks,
I don't know
Richard.
if you can say they're big. We are. One of the things. I mean, we're constantly going. We would love to just buy every animal that we ever wanted and ever dreamed of.
Hi, RIG Outdoors.
But that is something that we are not very good at.
What's that?
Or that is not something that we can easily afford.
What
Is
is
buying every animal that we've
Oh,
ever
that's
wanted.
true.
You know.
Yeah.
So
You want to trade me?
it is definitely. Hi, Grammy Karen. That is definitely something we like pigs. We added those this year and
Hi.
next year.
Those are.
I don't know what we're gonna. I don't know what we're gonna add next year. Like we've had
We've talked about
had a lot.
goats. We've talked about a milk cow. We've talked about beef cows. We've talked about sheep. We've
Yeah.
talked about different birds.
So I think from our perspective, like one of our goals is like, and I haven't worked out what that really looks like, but I'm a nerd when it comes to like numbers. When it comes to like how many meals can we raise on this farm? You know, like I kind of geek out on stuff like that. And so like this year we are by far year over year we've been here for 2 years. So every year we've added the amount of food that we've produced from our farm. And so this year I really would love to take, like the pigs are huge. Like that's going to be a big that takes us like next level. Like we're talking, we're going up. We're getting close to like 100+ meals in a year that we provide. As far as like when you think of meals, you know, like your main course or enough to that where you like tonight was a meal where we did not use like the only thing we bought at the grocery store was the flour for the bread. That was it. The rest of it was all raised here on the farm. And you know, so like that probably happens, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a month where we have a meal like that probably. But getting that to where we're at, like, I don't know. I mean,
75%
yeah, if
would
we
be
could,
really nice.
I think 75% is really lofty. I think 50 to 60% is
At least
definitely
for us starting out.
achievable,
Well,
right?
not starting
Yeah,
out, but early on, yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I think there's a ton more I want to do with the garden this year, and we just have all these plans. It's a lot of the infrastructure is what we'll have to work on, because we have the land, we have I mean,
yeah.
I think we could do some of what we want to do.
We could, and a lot too. It's finances. I mean, so one of the things that me and Jesse really talk about a lot, and this is a recurring theme in our conversations is, and I'm not taking any shots at anybody on YouTube or anything like that, but we don't want to be a hobby farm. That's not really our thing. It's not really what we want to be. You know, we don't want to ever do something just because we really enjoy animal husbandry or we really
And
enjoy
we do
enjoy it, but
we want it to work for us. And I think
it kind of like there are some things we like. Some of our chickens we raise for fun. Some of those there's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying, but
we just
we're
need
not
it to work for us.
as far as us, it needs to be a food source or an income source, one or the other, because I mean we're a large family and we have some expenses that you know say your average family may not have, and so we need to offset those expenses by either income or producing food, and for us to do that, for us to do what we do, and right now that we're producing food, we're not producing income, and that's okay. We're okay with that.
Hi, True Joy.
We are definitely we're living within our means currently right now. So
Every animal has a purpose. That's true. Even cats and dogs can have purposes. Even so-called, pets can have purposes. Our cats are like pets, but they keep the mice away, and the little varmints around, they keep those away, and they provide enjoyment for us.
yeah.
And so same with the dogs. And this one, Will and Lady does, provides lots of companionship and guarding of
Protection.
Yeah, protection.
Yeah, and that's our Great Pyrenees. She is not a livestock guardian dog, but she is definitely one that if someone
She's a children guardian dog.
yeah, if someone shows up at the house, we keep her kind of contained for a reason, because we don't know what she will. We don't really trust her not to run off, but she is definitely very protective of all of our children.
Our neighbors have cows. Right to the north of us, there's a fence, and when those cows are out, she is on guard, and she will get between them and the kids when they're outside. And it's just and me, she's even that way with me. When there's a car coming up the driveway, or whatever it is, UPS or whatever.
Yeah. She's a great. She is a very I would definitely recommend. She's a Great Pyrenees lab mix, but I would definitely recommend either one of those breeds. She is a great dog. The thing of it is, I wouldn't trust her with if you were a man showing up at our house unannounced. I mean,
She has. I remember one time at our old place, someone knocked on the door, and she was inside, and she got between me, and she would not. I wasn't gonna open the glass door anyway, but she would not move an inch, and she was growling, and I thought that was really neat to see her being that protective of me and the kids, because Jeremiah wasn't home, and I'm sure that man had no ill intentions at all, but it was neat to see her protectiveness and her sort of fierceness come out.
Yeah. ArrowRidge Outdoors, that is a great point. A lot of our meat
Venison,
comes from
grouse.
venison. Last year we had a great year for venison. I think we killed,
Oh, yeah.
we
3?
not killed. We harvested 3 deer from our farm. This year we're only at 1. Caden right here is connected with a deer earlier this year, so we've had a kind of a down year for us, at least in the last couple is, but we still have some season left, and I haven't had a lot of time to really hunt that hard. And the kids, last Saturday was really warm, and it was another youth season here in Missouri, so we didn't do as well.
But it is nice to be able to go out and hunt for your food. And
yeah, Tracy or Ashley, I was texting with Tracy on opening morning, and I kind of regret I had opportunity after opportunity on opening morning, and it was opening morning, and I didn't take any shots.
I know you came out and was like, I saw 5 deer. I was like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I had a lot of
It's opening
opportunities,
morning.
and I didn't take it, and I was like, I'm waiting for something bigger. But
same to you, Rebecca. Thanks for watching.
yep.
10 point, nice. Wow.
Dressed at 250. That's a nice deer. That's a very
That
nice
is.
deer.
Good job.
Yeah, that would.
It's always a fun time too when we cut it up and
Yeah, when we process the deer.
process it. Because we do it as a family and the kids all help, and it's just a lot of fun to be doing something that maybe not our ancestors, but our forefathers have done for years and years. And
I always feel like a redneck.
no, I think it's engaging in some historical thing that people have done forever. I like it.
Yeah, we do a lot RIG Outdoors. We do a lot of burger with ours.
Just because we eat,
That's how we consume a lot of that. And then the back straps, tenderloins, things like that. We save for cuts, and I'll get those out, thaw those out, put them on the grill and grill those normally. Man, that's good eating. You can't beat it. And really, we do a lot of. We'll mix a 50-50 or a 60-40 venison with hamburger, and it works out. It turns out really well normally. So yeah, deer meat is definitely a staple and has been for probably the last 5 or 10 years at our house. So yeah, I'm getting hungry too. No, I just ate dinner really. Hey, buddy, would you go get me some more water? Appreciate it. Thank you, bud.
Do you guys have any early Christmases coming up? We have like 4 or 5 different Christmases that we're doing this month.
Yeah. Christmas is probably one of our favorite holidays, but we do not like the winter.
No, it's just the darkness
And
the coldness.
It's the daylight. That's what bothers us, because we're like an outdoor family. Like, we love to be outside, regardless of what we do. Like, if spring and fall are that's like our time.
We're outside, and kids and I are barefoot.
Dusk to dawn. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
we don't mess around, and yeah, it just hasn't.
Yeah, winter is kind of a
Yeah. But we use it effectively. It's just we get a little sedative, or we get a little too cooped up. That's the best way to put it. Like that. Like, we just kind of get on one another's nerves. We're ready to get outside, and so that first in January or February, early February, that first 40-degree day that you get in February, we'll all get outside and we'll all just be like, oh, this is so nice. Of course, it's not really that nice, but
really in early fall, we'll be like, oh, we're freezing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. That's why having that Baker Creek magazine or catalog is good, and all the other ones that we'll get. We got one from High Mowing Seeds, I think is what it's called. So yeah, we'll enjoy definitely learning or looking through those.
and kind of start planning. Next year, that is one thing we're tossing around right now on like what we're gonna do for next year, like how much we're willing to like bite off, just because like it's difficult for me to say with the current schedule that I work right now. I leave in the middle of the night, basically, is what so I'm like, technically right now, guys, is my bedtime. I'm putting that out there. I normally would be asleep right now. Not really, but I would be getting ready for bed. I get up super early in the morning, and then I'm gone for normally at a minimum 12 hours a day, sometimes 14. So.
But I think in the spring and summer, you'd have definitely more daylight in the afternoon.
Yeah, summers and that spring and summer, I'm much more willing for the summer to burn the candle on both ends and go as long as I can, and not sleep. We've done that. YouTube has really encouraged that in us for the last probably couple years.
Oh yeah, since we started.
So.
Gosh, we've only been doing it for 2 years.
We're coming up on 2 years. 2 years on YouTube.
February does not seem like 2 years.
Yeah. I think it's February 2nd or 3rd, I believe.
Time flies.
2 years on YouTube. So. And obviously we somewhat enjoy it because we're still doing it. We're still doing it.
Even though sometimes I'm thinking, man, sometimes it'd be nice not to have to video everything. But we do like it a lot. Wow, you are on call all the time. Wow. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a good job, though. Pastoring a church.
Yeah.
Teaching school.
Very, very honorable.
I'm sure it's worth it.
Yep.
All the hard work that you put in. So back to the gardening, yes, I do have lofty goals for this year's garden, or next year's garden. I definitely want to produce more food that will can or freeze to sustain us. I didn't do that this year. I had a lot of mistakes this year and learned a lot from them, so I don't think that it's a bad thing, but I definitely want to change the way that we do things next year.
Well, I think really honestly we had relatively early success when we first started gardening in town, when we lived prior to ArrowRidge, prior to us being ArrowRidge. We had relatively early success with our gardens.
Yeah, we had really great gardens.
We did raised gardens, and I had a friend that came and gave me like beautiful soil, like that was alive when he brought it to me, and we stocked our gardens with that.
We raised a lot of food that way. Considering the small space that we
had. We probably had, I don't know, what would you say we had? 5 beds, 6 beds that were
at least 6, yeah.
Normally 4 by 12 or 4 by 8. And we raised a lot of food that way, a lot of food. And we had just read, like, I think you had read Square Foot Gardening or something like that. So we had really. Well, that's not mine, but you can have it.
We had bean teepees,
Do you want me to put some
had a lot of tomatoes. We had
there you go.
A lot of squashes, and it was just really great. I miss that garden. I think that's probably one of the things that I miss most about that house is the garden.
I think that what that really tells us though about a garden is that it's all about your soil. It's all about how you amend your soil. It's all about how much life you have in your soil. And it's just I really think that obviously that's where it starts. And then planning. I think that's one of the things that we're lacking in. Like, we don't plan well.
I have a lot of plans, and then I just want to go ahead and do them all right now. And gardening is not. You can't do that with gardening.
Maybe it's not the planning. Maybe it's the implementation. Because a lot of times, if you haven't noticed here at ArrowRidge, what we do is The implementation gets. I'm like the heavy lifting or the labor, the labor part, and Jesse's kind of the strategy or strategy part of it, and so sometimes we need to help each other out in both of those, and we don't. And
there's a miscommunication.
Yeah, or miscommunication, or one of us drops the ball. We started 2 gardens this year.
Or I'll just go ahead and do something that I really want to do without
without consulting or considering.
Without planning it out.
Yeah, or I just will drop the ball completely on something. It happens, so.
So what are you guys gonna plant in the greenhouse, Lauren? I'm excited to use our greenhouse this year.
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, we'll definitely have to put some kind of heat thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
A heat
I
source?
think it'll be really nice getting a jump start on some things, especially flowers. I want to do a lot of flowers this year, a lot of herbs for cooking with. I've done a lot of medicinal herbs, but I really want to do some kitchen herbs this year. But I think even though ours is small, I think that we'll have enough room to do a lot if we plan it right.
Oh yeah, I think we have a lot of enough.
I've tried deer jerky. I don't particularly like it, but Jeremiah really likes it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not great at True Joy. I'm not great at making deer jerky or venison jerky. I'm just not good at it. I don't have a great recipe, or I don't know exactly how, but I have some people that I know that make some amazing deer jerky, and I'll eat their stuff all the time. It's great. It's really good.
And I mean, I just like eating the venison. I think there's really not much difference if you put it up against hamburger.
Yeah, it's just leaner. I mean, that's really all.
I mean, I know some people that won't eat it, but
it just depends. It depends as well on how the animal is harvested. That does make a big difference.
Yeah.
So, I think from what I've seen, my experience with it.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, sit still. Don't put it in your mouth. Cheetah, will you give me some water?
That's one thing. RGI Outdoors, or RIG Outdoors. We have never tried a sausage.
Yeah.
I
I didn't know that you could make breakfast sausage with it.
Yeah. We've never really tried that. So.
Might be worth looking into.
Yeah. Hey, bud, don't lose that. Don't dump it over. You could go get another water.
Or have Ethan do it.
Yeah.
Ethan, can you go get another water, please?
Yeah.
Lettuce, spinach, rooted veggies. I want to do a lot of spinach this year. I like spinach. We buy it all the time, so we should do it. Oh, okay. Do you use, what is it, sage and, what else is in sausage? Sage and
Go check
thyme
him,
or something
brother.
like that?
He's coughing or something.
I think he's just coughing.
All right.
I used to know people that would make, when I was in college, I had friends that would hunt and they made all kinds of stuff. Sausage and jerky and I don't know what they did with all. That was my first introduction to hunting.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it down in southern Missouri when you went? Okay.
Yeah, pork sausage would have a lot of fat in it.
That's what we've always noticed with like our burger, when you gotta add a little bit of fat to it because it is just such a lean meat. So.
I meant to do some this summer. I just never got around to it. I might do it this summer. I really want to go into our backwoods and see what we have, because I know we have jewelweed down there. So that would be one that I would like to do because I like jewel bead a lot. And that's really good for like poison ivy relief. I just have to look around and see what we have more of that we haven't covered already. What?
Mom.
Nothing. You're witch doctor
I know.
when you do that stuff.
Thank you.
So,
But I did like making those. I enjoyed making those videos and sharing with you all what you can find out in the woods.
did you ever do one on plantain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did plantain, yarrow, echinacea.
We use plantain a lot. I mean, that's something that it's kind of one of our go-tos.
Yeah, it's kind of an all-purpose
balm
thing, yeah.
that we use for anything from chapped, chafed skin,
diaper rash,
bug bites. I mean,
poison ivy,
yeah. And
basically anything that's on your skin. You can
it's
use.
relatively. I mean, it does help. I mean, any ailment I've ever had, it has helped with. So.
You got a cold.
I think one of the things that we probably might show you guys over the winter as things slow down is we do a lot of arrowhead hunting and artifact hunting, and not really because that's something that we ever really into until we moved here, but we find a lot.
Come get her, please.
Right here, a lot.
Hi, Chris.
I bake.
How are those quail doing?
I bake.
Yeah, how are those quail doing?
Yeah, arrowheads are something that we really have a lot of fun with.
I'll be right back.
I think we have, what is it, over 40 now? Over 40 arrowheads or pieces of arrowheads or tools that we found just in our creek and in our woods. Some of them have been in our pig enclosure that we have. Thanks, RIG. See you guys later. And it's just something that we really enjoy doing. It's a lot of history and a lot of, I don't know, there's just something about going in the woods and finding things that people thousands or hundreds of years ago have left, and they were the last ones to touch it, and you're the next person to pick it up. Do you like doing arrowheads?
I'm going to go down like hunting season.
I know. Yeah, you like it too? And usually we don't take everybody. We've taken the little kids a couple of times, but it was really hard when it was colder to take this one. But we might try that again now that he's getting a little bit bigger. Try to go down with us and look for him.
Yeah, we used to go down.
Oh no.
One time we went down the creek with him and Jeff, and their boots kept getting stuck in the mud when they were walking, and they just pulled their feet right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do really well, did they? That's weird. If you look at this screen down here, it's
I know,
we're like lagging.
Delay. Well, good. You should try again. I think quail are, I mean, I don't particularly like quail. But I think that, a lot of people enjoy them. And I think that you would do good to keep trying.
Yeah, definitely, Chris, definitely keep trying, because it's one of those things where quail is definitely one of those things that you can raise in a small space. And I think if you get your system down, I think it can be very effective. And the thing that didn't fit for us in quail was we need something that produces consistently. And quail for us just didn't produce enough for feeding 9 people is difficult to do. So
on quail eggs.
Yeah. We had a rough summer with as far as predators for our chicken flocks. It was the raccoons hit us hard, and possums
had
got
any.
to us, really.
We
I
haven't had
think.
any this fall though.
No, we really haven't.
Which I'm kind of surprised about that, but I think we're just getting better at. Well, I don't want to toot our own horn, but maybe we're just getting better at
armoring and
watching out,
preparing, and yeah. So.
Go.
Because the biggest thing is if you can lock your chickens down, I think they're most vulnerable at night. And then in the daytime, what they're most vulnerable to is aerial predators. And for whatever reason, we have a ton of aerial predators, but we do not lose a lot of chickens to that or ducks.
Yeah, I think maybe a couple of chickens or one of our ducks.
One of our ducks, maybe to an owl, we think.
And that's it. Mostly it's been raccoons or possums.
Yep. And that's the other thing, no coyotes.
No, and there's tons
that
of
we know of,
around.
no bobcats that we know of, and we've seen bobcats close to the house.
Saw one today.
We've seen bobcats, we've seen coyotes, and they just for whatever, and maybe it's the dogs that keep them at bay. So.
Well, good. You'll be all the more ready next time. What was I gonna say?
I don't know. I can't read your
I
mind.
know. Darn it. Oh, that's what I like. I'm glad that we got our chickens into their new enclosure, their winter enclosure. I know a lot of people keep their chickens out in the pasture over the winter, but we don't. We just like to keep them closer to the house, and I think that's also what helps kind of keep predators away.
Yeah, we have a lot of bald eagles as well. Like it's fun. It's weird how in the last couple of years since we've been here, we've steadily seen an increase in the amount of bald eagles that show up. We've probably already seen 4 this year.
Oh, way more than that.
Maybe more. I mean, I've seen 4, I guess I should say, and I mean like we're really close to a river, so I think they hang out on the river. And so we see a lot of bald eagles here, and that's not growing up in Missouri. That's not normal for Missouri. And red-tailed hawks, we have a lot of those, Chris, a lot.
There's 3 circling in our house the other day.
Yeah.
I took a picture of them.
Yeah, you did.
Didn't you guys see there was a
Hey, bud.
possum or
Don't
something
put
in the
that in your
coop the
mouth.
other day?
No.
Or something.
We've had a possum in the coop in the past, but not recently.
One time we woke up and we were going to feed the chickens, and there's a possum in the feed buckets.
Right. Yeah, but we haven't seen anything recently.
No, we really haven't. Yeah, as far as predation, we haven't had any issues with that since the spring. It's normally early summer, late spring that we start to have issue.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, we do some live traps for raccoons. We've had limited success with those, but we have had some success. Yeah, very stinky situation. I'm sure you let it go too when you caught it. That was a joke. Oh no. Sorry, we're gonna run out of juice, but we've only got. We'll only go for another 10 minutes or more. Hey, Roxanne.
That's funny. I didn't think they'd be up in the city. I mean, there's deer. There's a lot of deer up there.
That is funny. I was on 7 Highway, not too far from where Todd George Road and all that is one time, Shrewjoy, and I had a bobcat run in front of me one time on 7 Highway. They're close to Lake Lotawana. So I mean that's a few miles, but that's pretty close to that area. So I know they're there. When I hunt, and I have seen multiple bobcats since we've been here, and then the farm that I used to hunt, I used to see them all the time.
They need to put up more deer crossing signs so they'll know where to go.
What is a deer? I'm kidding. I know a deer. Yeah, I think the deer population, at least in Missouri, is pretty healthy. It
yeah.
appears to be to me. And I have not seen a shortage of deer this year from the tree stand.
Well, you're not too far from us, True Joy.
Yeah.
I grew up not in Blue Springs, but over there, around there.
Green Valley area.
Green Valley, yeah.
Yeah.
Went to school there.
I grew up in the Lone Jack, Pleasant Hill area.
Homeschooled.
I'm one of those weirdos.
Weird, unsocialized homeschool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how some years we'll get 3. We'll get
Yeah, or 2.
yeah, and then some we'll go years without getting any.
Well, and this year we got 1, so I mean, I feel good about. I mean, we didn't strike out yet, and there's still a lot of season left. This year, it's just been time. That's been my biggest issue. Is last year I just quit everything and hunted because it was the first year I had my own farm to hunt on, and this year it's just been I don't have the time. I'd be not like. I mean, I put some time in, you know, but not what I normally would. I don't know if you would agree with that or not.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Normally Jessie loses her husband from about October 1st till about this time. Normally about December.
And it's like every morning that you can possibly go, every evening.
And I'll take time off of work, and I just haven't really. I've taken 2 days off to hunt this year, and it was some of the toughest hunting I've ever had to do.
And
it was like
some of the time I'm like,
freezing rain.
You should go. You need to go. So that's kind of different too.
Yeah.
You need to be out there. They seem to love, don't they? They're not very smart.
Yeah, they do love to run into cars. I don't get that. I really don't. They do. They seem to find cars. So.
Georgie. Where are we at now?
We're about 57 minutes.
57, man. That flies when you're doing a live.
When you're having fun. No, we really do appreciate everybody that jumps on. Again, this was kind of impromptu. We just didn't have anything ready going into the weekend. And we're like, hey, let's just do a live and go talk to everybody. And we always enjoy lives when we do them. And sometimes we're a little reluctant because we're like, oh, well, you know.
We don't have much to talk
We don't have really much to talk about.
And sometimes that shows.
Yeah, sometimes that does show up.
But we do appreciate you guys all coming in and chatting with us.
Yeah, hanging out.
It's been fun.
Put up a Christmas tree.
That's how ours are. We have several that are just pieces and parts and working together or working to get them together and get them done.
Yeah, and I think when you get farm alarm, when you get to this time of the year, and you get there's just life starts to catch up and things start to slow down, you know. And so I think for us, it's one of those things where, you know, it's still a priority. It's just there are other priorities that take precedent over that.
Someone wants to know, how's the turkey? How's Cutie doing?
How's Cutie doing, Jep? Good.
Good. Friendly as ever, and
Oh yeah.
he loves for you to pet him.
Getting fatter.
He just follows you around when you go out there. It's so funny.
He does.
And
Me one too.
He
yes, he does.
It's funny because our friend Jake had a talk between our rooster and our turkey, and they've gotten along great ever since then.
I don't know,
Never
yeah.
had any problems.
He's the chicken whisperer or something.
Yeah, here in Missouri at least. So.
Yeah. Really nice to you.
Yes, he is really nice to all the hens, and
Yep.
and he's not limp. He was kind of limping a little bit when we put him in with the chickens, but now he's not. He's all healthy and just having a grand old time over there.
Well, sometimes he limps, but
Yeah, he kind of hops when he runs. Then he kind
Yeah.
of does this little. He's got a little get up.
Yeah.
Like he's riding a horse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like he's riding a horse.
Like he's
Yeah.
the horse.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, Farmo, I'd be interested to see your trip to California. I didn't get,
Yeah.
I really, like, that's the other thing that I haven't been keeping up on is a lot of videos. Like, I just,
From other YouTubers.
from other YouTubers that I follow, that I'm interested in, that I know, and I just haven't been able to, I just haven't been able to spend a lot of time doing that, so.
Yeah, that's true. Seems like the time that you do have is better spent other endeavors right now, at least.
Yeah, but you get into what I would call the cold, dark days of winter, and normally we start to catch up during that time. So, because that's a lot of what we do. In the winter, we do a lot of research. A lot of our hey, this is what we want to do next year, comes from the winter. That's kind of what we use our winters for, is
Yeah, and that's
planning, research,
reading books.
reading books. We do a lot of reading in the winter. So, but
Yeah. I wish we had more fun, exciting things going on. But we don't. That's okay. I think there's a rest time.
that is true.
There needs to be a rest time on the farm. And
Yeah, I don't know. If you don't homestead, one of the things I will say is, when it's in full swing, when you're in your growing seasons, there are 16 to 18 hour days, and you're doing YouTube. It's not uncommon to see a 16 or 18 hour day from me, and I know Jesse's in the same boat.
yeah, I don't go to work, but I do a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
here.
you have a job here, and so it is not uncommon for those kind of things to happen for us. And, we love it. I don't think we'd change any of it. We're not complaining.
No.
But the winter does provide a little bit of a down period where we're not, like, we're still committed to trying to do a video a week.
Ideally, we'd like to do more. But
Right. It just depends on when topics come up and what we have going on. Sometimes we're waiting on finances to catch up to projects. Sometimes we're waiting on projects to get completed before we show you things, and just kind of the way it goes sometimes.
And Ashley, I would say that the couch makes a pretty good schoolhouse. You
Just
and
gonna
Henry
test
just
it.
snuggling and reading books or doing whatever you need to do. I mean, if there's school or little things that you want to start doing, just start. I don't think that, I think that's one of the reasons why I homeschool, is not to necessarily have a school at home. It's just to be here with my kids and enjoy being with them and teaching them and in everyday life, not just book stuff, which has its merit and has its value too. But I love just sitting on the couch and reading with them. We do that almost every night. I read aloud, and there's a lot of value in that too.
I think, and you know what, that's one of those things. You just said he does help his dad on projects a lot, so he learns a lot, and that's
important.
critical. I mean,
especially for little boys to be working with their dads.
That's one of the things. One of the reasons why we choose to homeschool is because of that family element and the I have nothing against the public school education system. I'm not sitting here saying you're terrible if you send your kids to public school. I'm saying there are different ways to educate children. And one of the good ways, I think, one of the things that I can tell you from my life experience, which I was homeschooled, is one of the things that I learned at a very early age was just a work ethic. Because my father was a father of 8, and he raised 8 children, and he did a lot of things not similar to the way we're doing things, but
With
not
the same intention.
not too much different. You know, he did things to save money. We burned firewood for, and my father still does. To this day, he's 60 years old, and he still gets out, cuts firewood, and that's how he heats his house. And so as far as like work ethic, I learned that from a very young age, and not in a bad way. I look back when I was a kid, maybe I thought, oh, I don't want to go cut wood with Dad. But now I look back at that, I'm like, man, that prepared me for being more successful in my life because I learned how to go work at a younger age. And it's not like my dad had me out there working 7 hours, 8 hours a day. That's not what I'm saying. You know, he allowed us still to be children. He allowed us still to go have fun, but he would ask for help when he needed help. And I think that's one of the things that homeschooling affords you, and that flexibility. You're getting ready to have a baby, so
You could take some time off.
you can take some time off, and you can go a little later if you need to.
Yeah.
So
And we don't have to just homeschool or we don't have to do school in 9 months, you know, or a certain number of days or whatever here in Missouri, and so you can do it whenever.
yeah, that is one thing nice about living in Missouri is you have a year to get your hours in, and you can, as long as you do that, you're good. And
There's very little restrictions.
last year we had Georgia, and I think we took 3 or 4 weeks off. I mean, because it just wasn't feasible for her to be teaching school and doing that. So
Yeah, and I think that kids that are homeschooled are way more capable of interacting with people of all ages.
sometimes, yeah. would
I
agree
think
with
for the
that,
most
yeah.
part they are, because
Yeah.
they're generally around people of all different ages and not just with kids their own age. I think that's one of the benefits of alternative education.
Hey, little one. Nice for you to join us.
She's been cleaning up the floor.
Looks like it.
She has something in her mouth.
She does have something in her mouth. Oh, she has that in her mouth. You can't have that in your mouth, you silly goose.
But yes, I love homeschooling. Maybe I should do more videos on that.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. So
Well, what?
I think with that, I think we're probably
Gonna head out?
ready to start putting kids to bed.
No. It's only,
I'm ready for bed.
yeah, I know.
So,
Me too.
but
So we might go catch Doug and Stacy's live.
yep, go
See
check them out.
what's
They
going
probably
on.
already started, so we'll probably at least go
Thanks
say hi.
for coming around, guys,
Yep.
and hanging out with us and engaging with us and keeping us going when we didn't have much to say.
Yep.
We
And
enjoyed talking with you all.
It was a good time just hanging out with everybody.
And our
so.
computer didn't crash this time. Our
Yeah,
phone didn't crash
you
this
got to
time.
see us actually the whole time without
Hey,
just hearing us sometimes.
poor doggy. All right.
I don't think she's any worse for wear. So.
We can watch it's a little behind, so I just saw what you all were seeing about 5 seconds ago. All right, well, we are going to get off here and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, Ashley, we will definitely be seeing you guys soon for sure. So,
Yeah.
thank you, True Joy.
Thanks, Richard.
Thanks, Richard. You guys have a good night.
Yep. We'll
Now I
see
got to
you
figure
all.
out how to shut this off.